Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we bring you breaking news that has shaken not only the Middle East but the entire international community as reports confirm that Israel has launched a targeted strike on a senior Hamas leader while he was staying in Qatar, a country often considered a safe diplomatic zone, and this unprecedented development has immediately sparked global headlines, diplomatic reactions, and debates about the future of security in the region. So let's break it down in detail. In the same way, breaking news channels bring urgent updates with depth and clarity, because this is not just another headline, but an event that has the potential to alter the course of the Israel-Hamas conflict and reshape Middle Eastern diplomacy. First and foremost, the urgent fact emerging from multiple sources is that an Israeli air operation using high-tech fighter jets and precision-guided munitions managed to hit a specific compound in Doha where the Hamas leader was reportedly based. Eyewitnesses on the ground describe a massive explosion lighting up the night sky, with smoke and fire consuming part of the building, emergency vehicles rushing through the streets, and panic spreading among civilians who never expected to see such scenes in the heart of Qatar, a nation usually known for luxury skylines, international diplomacy, and neutrality in conflicts. But this night turned those assumptions upside down as war reached Doha in a way that shocked the world, and the urgency of the story continues as intelligence sources suggest that Israel had been tracking this Hamas leader for months, gathering data through surveillance drones, cyber tools, and human informants, and once they confirmed his presence in Qatar, the plan was set into motion. With a precision strike that demonstrates Israel's long-standing doctrine of targeting high-value individuals no matter where they hide. But what makes this breaking news especially dramatic is the location, because never before has Israel carried out such a strike in Qatar, a place that hosts international negotiations, American military bases, and even global events like the World Cup, which means the symbolism is as powerful as the strike itself. And in terms of performance, Israel is once again showing its advanced military capability, the ability to strike deep into foreign territory with accuracy, timing, and intelligence that minimizes collateral damage but maximizes political impact. Witnesses report that while the building was destroyed, the strike appeared to be highly focused, sparing nearby structures and avoiding massive civilian casualties, a factor that Israel often highlights to showcase its precision and technological edge. Yet despite these claims, the safety of civilians is now in question as people across Doha ask themselves whether their city is truly safe from international conflict. And this is a turning point, because Qatar has always marketed itself as a safe haven for leaders, diplomats, and international business. But tonight that illusion has been shattered as Israel demonstrated that nowhere is truly beyond reach. And this attack raises urgent questions about the safety features that governments and militant groups rely upon. Are secure compounds, bodyguards, and diplomatic protocols really effective when a state actor with advanced intelligence decides to strike? The breaking news reality is that safety is fragile and can be penetrated, and that message resonates not only with Hamas but with every group watching this unfold. And as global reactions pour in, we see governments scrambling to respond. Qatar has condemned the strike as a violation of its sovereignty, calling emergency meetings to assess the fallout, while Israel has defended its actions as necessary for national security, stating that Hamas leaders orchestrate violence from abroad and must be held accountable no matter where they hide. The United States faces a diplomatic balancing act because it maintains a major military base in Qatar, but also remains Israel's closest ally. So Washington is now carefully choosing words, calling for restraint while refusing to outright condemn Israel. Meanwhile, countries like Iran and Turkey have strongly condemned the attack, describing it as reckless aggression, and Hamas itself has vowed retaliation, declaring that this will only fuel their resistance, which means the cycle of violence is likely to escalate further. And as a breaking news analysis, we must also consider the price of this action, not in terms of money but in terms of political cost, because while Israel may celebrate this as a tactical success, it risks diplomatic backlash from Qatar and perhaps strained relations with other Arab states that view this as a dangerous precedent. And yet, from Israel's perspective, the unique selling point of this operation is precisely its boldness. its ability to show that Hamas leaders are not safe even in distant capitals, and this message is as important as the physical elimination of the target, because deterrence in modern conflict is not only about missiles but also about psychology. And by striking in Qatar, Israel is telling the world that the rules have changed, that traditional safe havens are no longer beyond the battlefield. Now when we examine performance from another angle, Israel's intelligence services have once again proven their reputation for efficiency, because planning such an operation in a heavily monitored country like Qatar requires layers of surveillance, data collection, and covert assets on the ground, and the ability to synchronize the intelligence with real-time military action shows a level of performance that few nations in the world can achieve. But this performance also comes with risks, because if any mistakes had been made, such as mass civilian casualties or a missed target, the political fallout would have been catastrophic. And yet in this case Israel appears to have executed with precision, which will likely boost domestic support for the government at a time when it faces internal political pressures. Still, the bigger question remains what happens next, because Hamas is already signaling that it will respond, and retaliation could take many forms, from rocket attacks to coordinated violence in different regions, which means the cycle of escalation may not end with this single strike. And in the wider context of the Middle East, this breaking news adds another layer of instability to a region already boiling with tensions from Gaza to Lebanon, Syria, and beyond. Now let's address the human element, because beyond geopolitics, there are civilians on the ground in Doha who witnessed something they never imagined. People rushing through the streets, children crying, smoke rising above luxury towers, and this sudden transformation of their city into a war zone is a traumatic reminder that in the modern world conflict can arrive anywhere at any time, and this realization undermines the sense of safety that Qatar has worked so hard to build, and that psychological impact is as powerful as the physical damage. In conclusion, the breaking news tonight is that Israel has attacked a Hamas leader in Qatar, a bold, unprecedented move that combines military precision with political symbolism. And as we analyze the layers, we see that on the exterior it is a shocking strike. On the interior it reflects deep intelligence operations. In performance it demonstrates military superiority. In safety it shows vulnerability. In unique selling points it highlights the choice of Qatar as a symbolic battlefield. In price it risks diplomatic fallout. And in conclusion it changes the rules of game by proving that no place is untouchable. And as we move forward, the world will watch closely to see how Hamas responds, how Qatar positions itself, how Israel justifies its actions, and how global powers react, because this is not just another incident but a turning point in the conflict, one that could either escalate into broader confrontation or redefine the limits of modern warfare. So stay with us as we continue to monitor this story, provide live updates, and analyze every new development in this rapidly unfolding crisis, because tonight the world has learned that in the Middle East even the safest places can become the front line of conflict. And that is the breaking news that demands attention, analysis, and reflection from all of us.